Welcome to the International Health and Wellness Summit. We're real appreciative that you have registered for this exciting online event that was created just for you. I'm Bette Steflik, and my business is Shen Feng Shui. And my online and on-site consultation I refer to as Your House is Talking. My topic today is Healthy Home, Healthy Body. So I want to share with you some housekeeping details. This will be recorded, so you'll be able to see it on replay. If towards the end of the presentation, you'll be able to ask questions, go to the chat room and enter your question. At that time, I want you to receive all the information I have to share, and your question will be answered. Also, too, I will share my special offer that I have designed just for the International Health and Wellness Summit. So since this topic is a general topic on health and wellness, I'm going to share with you design details that influence our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. But first, a bit about me is that I have been a Feng Shui consultant for 21 years. Amazing. And I'm so excited to say that. Prior, I had a graphic design business and I wanted more fulfillment in my life. And I found by synchronicity, Professor Lin and the Black Sect Tantric Buddhist School of Feng Shui. And through his esteemed students, I should say, in his teachings, through the learning and the consulting as a Feng Shui in Feng Shui, I was able to draw together my work experience skills, my talents, and my love to serve into one profession. So I get to be an artist and to share that, and as a writer, and to be a designer, and also a spiritual counselor. So, Feng Shui is a philosophy, and it's so broad in scope that it's amazing how it encompasses everything in just one profession. So I feel very lucky. So when Qi is encouraged to meander and move gently, it's beneficial. And when it travels too quickly and it's in a straight line, it's detrimental to the good fortune of our wealth, health, and happiness. Some examples of this are like a knife edge. It's considered being cut, or a low beam over a dining room table. That's considered, that's illness along the midline, or disease along the midline. Locked doors and hallways suggest digestive issues, constipation, and back problems. A broken window is an eye problem. Floor plans can be mystifying. And when I look at a floor plan, I see a rich narrative that unfolds before me. A twisted stairway can lead to a heart attack. A contrary door that blocks a flourishing career. A detached garage confirms, a theft from a relative. A biting door can transform an obedient child into a bully. And an empty door can send a partner packing. So, as a truth teller, architectural details disclose the stress, the worry, the disentanglement, the emotions, where the heart of the occupants just spill out into the floor, into the floor plan. I want to say about my clients, and Patricia's here today. Thank you. I find you quite brave to just step into something that is virtually unknown. It's you're in a subtle realm of energy. And I hope all of you who are attending, I hope that you find a renewal in faith in your surroundings, and that you find ways to balance the energy in your home that brings you peace. Well, a door is a mouth, and the front door is the mouth of Qi. It attracts positive and negative energy. And what happens at the front door will affect the rest of the home and everyone who lives there. Feng Shui is a metaphoric language, and the main entrance represents the head, helpful people. This is where they enter into your life, health, and your career. On the outside, it represents fame and reputation. So if you don't use the front door very often, or if you can't use it very often, then there is a suffocation of energy throughout the house. And so it lacks chi of all kinds. Wealth and health are primarily ones that we really focus on. So it's important to remember. You want your front door to capture the positive chi. And in the front door, if it's at a disadvantage, it will affect the fate of the occupants. So what happens at the front door doesn't stay there, it infiltrates the entire home. And here are some common design features that can lead to illness. So we're going to look at this floor plan that has quite a bit going on in it. And I'll begin with the front entry. Now this entry is a hidden entry. And what happens here is that, as I mentioned, a door is a mouth, and if the mouth is hidden, then it takes your voice from the world. And if you speak, you may not feel heard, and you may lose opportunities as a result of that. Strange chi can develop, lethargy, frustration, and depression, which, if it's not addressed, can lead to illness. So to correct this, you want you'll bring in an electrician and place a can light on the walkway leading up to or not directly on the walkway, but on the side of, the walkway, and shine a light up to the top of the door frame. If you didn't want to do that, you can also hang a wind chime at the front door. In addition to that, you want to mark the pathway. You want to add greenery, color, plantings, lights, solar lights would be marvelous, as well as electrical. And so there's no confusion. Now this door also is a double door, and that can lead to confusion. And it can deplete all the life situations of the Bagua. So what we want to do here is to identify one door. So let's say we identified the left door. So you would take the doorknob off the right door is one way. You can put a welcome mat on the left door. You can clear a proper path as you would in the hidden door. So make sure that it's well defined. If there's confusion, then you would place a sun moon mirror on the door. And the sun moon mirror it's a transcendental mystical cure. There's 24 hours of sunlight on one side, 24 hours of moonlight on the other side. So this sun moon mirror is actually constructed and made, and there's an entire protocol to it. So I sell those. So if you're in need of one, please contact me after the presentation, and I'll be happy to chat with you about that. And an email, bet@shenminfengshui.com. This door also is a slanted door, and that's quite serious. It can bring on unexpected events, which includes illness. Also in this floor plan, there is a slanted door at the bedroom, and that can mean tragedy, which will affect the entire household. So you want to be especially careful. And the way to adjust the chi here is on the inside of the front door is to place a faceted crystal. And depending on the size, if you have a double door, you probably have a big house. This is a large house. Then a 50 millimeter faceted crystal, and this one's quite lovely. This one's called the Power of 9, but basically what you want is a crystal of this dimension. Swarovski is the best, hung on a red cord in increments of 9. Now red is the color of joy and is auspicious. It is power, protection, and good luck. And what that will do is protect the family from the sensitive energies of a slanted door. If you didn't want to use a crystal ball, you could, purchase a crystal chandelier, that would work as well. And if it didn't have any crystals in it, like the one I just showed you, you might want to think about hanging one from the bottom. This front door also opens out, and all the good fortune will escape with a situation like this. So it's going to deplete all your resources, and those resources, again, are your health and your wealth. And in this case, the only cure that Professor Lin gave us was a sun moon mirror. That you'll place on the inside of the front door with the sun side facing in, and that yang energy of the sun will be strong enough to hold the wealth, health, and good fortune of everyone in the family. Now, there is a knife edge at this front door. And as I mentioned earlier, it means being cut. So to adjust this corner, this sha qi was another name for it, this killing qi or negative qi, you have three choices. You can hang either a 40 millimeter crystal, you can purchase these at Etsy, these little felted pom-poms, have one custom made with the 5 element colors, and those color sequences, green, red, yellow, white, and black, and so that would be continuous. So because you want to hang those pom-poms from the ceiling to the floor in increments of 9. So you would measure that, round up to whatever that would be in inches of way of 9. And that sequence, because it's a complete system, would be a very strong, potent cure. Or you can go to Michael's or online, find string pearls, and you can get several and wrap those together. Again, principle still applies that you will use the increment of 9. Now, in this case, in these cures, something to strengthen them is that we place them on an altar for 9 nights, and then on the 10th day, we place the cure. And then there's a whole procedure there, what is referred to as the 3 secret reinforcements. And just briefly, I'll give you something abbreviated, is that you set an intention and you visualize that intention. That intention is going to be related to that knife edge and the front entry and protecting the occupants. You'll end with either the prayer mudra or the Anjali mudra, or you will hold the calming heart mudra. And then you will say the prayer. You can also chant Om Mani Padme Hum 9 times. So we're going to move to the center. And, excuse me. What I didn't, we'll come back. If there was a split at this stairway, it would be called a mandarin duck stairway. And what this does is that it stimulates the brain unevenly because the optic nerve is stimulated unevenly. And it can be devastating. There can be struggle and confusion and exhaustion, which leads to anger and violence, sometimes death. So you would hang, generally there's a post. So you could put a crystal, a smooth crystal on that post. What you want to do is you want your eyes to focus on one object as you enter. It can be just for a second or 5 seconds. That's all you need, so that the brain is in coherence. The left and right sides are in coherence. You can also hang a crystal from the ceiling. Now, if this floor plan had a front entry stairway that faced the door, and you would have the stairway and the chi would be going down the stairs, through the door, and out to the street. This depletes the body's midline, and heart disease is the most common affliction. So at the top of the stairs, you can raise the chi with a wind chime, or you can place a mirror. And the principle of the mirror is that you want it to be large enough so it's not cutting off the top of the head or someone's chin. So generally, if you can go with a full-length mirror, that's, I think, always preferable. This floor plan also has piercing heart doors. And this is when you have 3 or more doors that line up and that you can walk through in a straight line. And this creates an invisible barrier between partners, between parent and child, and between siblings. And over time, a chasm widens. There's a discordant view that people express, and people really aren't able to speak heart to heart and have meaningful conversations. Professor Lind would say they are sleeping in the same bed but dreaming their own dreams. So the way to adjust a situation like this is you can place a crystal, say there and there, so one would be over the dining room table. I think some folks would enjoy using their artistic skills and applying paint. So the paint of the dining room would be, the color would be different than the living room. And that creates a distinction. And then you've broken up that link of the piercing heart doors. So we're going to move on to the center of the house. And a bathroom in the center can deplete all equas, which drains all the life resources. There's, poor health will plague every occupant, generation after generation, year after year. So some of the cures for this, and because the bathroom is in the center and the center represents health, it's very of primary importance that this is corrected. That is not overlooked. You can mirror all four walls on the interior. You can put a mirror on the bathroom door. It would be a full-length mirror. Remember, the tallest person in the household, you want to place it according to their height so you don't cut off their head. You can place a round mirror on the ceiling above the toilet, and with the mirror's reflective side facing down. You can also place a container or a bowl of uncooked rice on the back of the toilet. And what this does is the water and the waste fertilizes the grain. So it's in essence, it's like you're growing a new crop of good luck and happiness. Accidents are likely to happen in a bathroom that's too small. And in this bathroom, it's a vanity bathroom. So it's not under the same definition. But if this had a shower in it, or a shower, then we'd look at it and say, this is really too small. And digestion can be adversely affected. A cure for that is that I gave one client just a mirror, a straight rectangular mirror to put in the bathroom, and it expanded the space. And she was just so overjoyed. She just loved it. If someone if somewhere in this, say, if this house had a long hallway and there's a bathroom at the end, that can create digestive issues, because it actually creates a lot of anxiety. So you can correct this by hanging a faceted crystal. You must think I'm crystal happy, but it represents universal chi and the sunlight, the universal sunlight, I should say, which is basically, similar. But if you didn't want to do that, you could stagger artwork along the walls. You could put down, not a long runner, but 3 or 4 area rugs. That would help break up the chi and slow the energy down. Strong center can hold a family together amidst life's complexities, and certainly life has been complex. So when you lack a center, all the life situations can spin out of control. So when there's a stairway in the center of the house, the family fortune can fluctuate. The mind becomes agitated and fretful. Anxiety disorders are common. Chi can leak from the building and from the occupants. Health can be particularly affected, and life can become very difficult. So you can cure this by wrapping the railway with greenery, silk greenery. Another cure is to paint the railing green, and this reminds us of nature's vitality. It creates stability and a peaceful feeling. Or you can hang a wind chime at the top of the stairs to lift the chi. If the stairway were devoid of risers, which means you can see through each step, then what it does is it robs the body of chi. and it bankrupts us of our life force. You know, the area at the top of the stairs may feel empty and even dead. So what happens here is that you just over time feel a lot of fatigue, and that can lead to autoimmune illness. So plants actually are a life-saving cure in Feng Shui. And in this situation, the vitality of the live plant would lift the chi of the stairs. So you place that underneath the stairs. Now we're going to refer and go over to the stove. And where the cook is standing at the stove, they should be in command of both the kitchen door and the front door. And the definition of command position is you see the door, but you're not in line of the door. So if your back is to the door, what you want to do is strategically place a mirror on the wall in front of the stove. And one of the advantages of that is that you'll get a doubling of burners, which represent your wealth. It stabilizes any family disharmony. It gives you the clarity to address any calamities or any health issues that may arise. The other feature here, and I'm just going to circle that, which is real critical, is if you can see a stove from the outside door. What this means is that there's a lot of illness and unexplained illness. It means being cut, there's surgery, there's constant worry and pressure, which exhaust everyone. Family problems may not be resolved. So the cure for this, I mean, you can put a crystal in between the door and the stove, but a real easy one is to cut out a red arrow from construction paper. Place that on your altar for 9 nights, and then on the 10th day, adhere it to the ceiling, anywhere between the door and the stove. And what that does is that arrow, that point, is breaking up any negative chi that's entering the house. Now we'll go on to the dining room. Make that much bigger. So if a dining room is too close to an outside door, and those are sliding glass doors, it affects our resources, our health being one of those. You know, the dining room is a secondary source of income. So if money is coming in and it's going out, that can be very anxiety, bring on a lot of anxiety. And that eventually can lead to illness. So you would hang either a 40 or 50 millimeter crystal between the dining room table and the doors. In this case, there would be 2. You know, again, I mentioned the procedure when you end the 3 secret modification of 3 secret reinforcements, where you set your intention, you say your intention to protect the energy of the dining room table, you hold a mudra, and then you say the prayer, and then you can also chant Om Mani Padme Hum. So this dining room table also has a beam over it, and if you have a low beam over a dining room table, it can be disease along the midline. So you want to lift that up. And the way to do that is, you probably read in a book that you can paint beams and you can paint them out. That's really the least effective way. The most effective is buying either 9 or 27 crystal balls, faceted crystals, putting those on your altar for 9 nights, and then aesthetically arranging those. You know, they're going to be hung from the ceiling on a red cord. That's increments of 9, but not from the beam itself, because that adds more weight and heaviness. But it's going to be next to the beam, you know, almost, you know, it's going to be adjacent to the beam and low enough where the crystals themselves hang below the beam. Now, we all have headaches, and for relief of headaches, you want to be in command at your desk, bed, and stove. And if you can't sit at your desk in command, you can put a large mirror in front of your desk. And one of the benefits of that, besides being in command, is it turns your life around 180 degrees. Also, you can tap your head 108 times all around the cranium. And what this does is that any excess chi, any thoughts that you've been ruminating about, just draws those out into the atmosphere. And now we'll move on to the bedroom. And what we see here, I'm just going to redo that. What we see here is the bed is facing the door. And that's called the coffin position. Doesn't sound very attractive, does it? Because it means at some point in your life, if this isn't corrected, that you'll be taken out on a stretcher rather than walking out. What the cure is for here is to take a faceted crystal and hang it anywhere between the door opening and the bed. And what this does is that it deflects any rapid chi entering into the bedroom, up into the bed, into your body. There's also a beam on this oak over this bed, and this is affecting the feet of this occupants or the occupants. So what that means is that you could have injury, you could have a simple scratch, a break, a disease. Adjust that with a crystal so that it smooths out the chi of those beams. Now, because of the doors opening into the bedroom, you could probably combine those two cures so you're not doubling up on having to purchase two crystals. So I'd like to say, when you schedule and complete a full residential consultation, which is a minimum of 3 hours, remotely or on site by August 1st, 2020, you'll receive a full written report that's valued at $100. This also includes subscribing to my blog, and there you receive a PDF, 27 bedroom concepts that maximize your health, your happiness, and your peace of mind. So if you want to do something right away, if you have an illness in one of your organs, then you can adjust the relationship gua, which is in this area. It's on a slant, so it actually needs to be adjusted here first. Also the Tai Chi position, which is the center, which is, as I mentioned earlier, it represents health. And place 9 vital plants at the front entry. This is really a cure for if someone has cancer. You can also practice a spiritual breathing exercise, such as the Sunshine Buddha meditation. So if you want to support all your endeavors and your recovery from illness, feel free to contact me, bette@shenmenfengshui.com, and I'd be happy to talk with you. I want to say thank you so much for this opportunity to present this information to you. I think of it as wisdom. Our next presenter is Mark Yapelli, and he will speak on Huna, the ancient Hawaiian wisdom for today's world. I am ready to take your questions, so let me just do this, and we're set to go. Thank you.